my gosh, look at him! It was late May and Mexico felt hot and humid. We had been sailing already for 2 months from Santa Barbara down to Cabo, and now we were closing in on the bay of Zihuatanejo. We were trying to get some fuel, some diesel for the boat, but the fuel dock was falling apart.
Yeah, maybe someone's gonna come in a couple minutes, you know?
Couple centuries.
Yeah, something like that. Mañana.
Luckily, the locals helped us out and we were able to put some jerry cans, made a mess, but ended up with a little bit of diesel. That night, we went to La Sirena Gorda, a restaurant, and pulled up the weather forecast, and that's when we saw the hurricane brewing. We knew we were heading into hurricane season in mainland Mexico, which goes from June to late October, but we really wanted to surf along the way, and we were trying to cut it close to get to Huatulco, which is in the state of Oaxaca, by June 1st. Looking at all the historical hurricane tracks, we thought we'd be safe with that plan, but because it was an El Nino year and the waters were warm, and chance, there was early season hurricanes. So we had to go 300 miles south in the next 2 days, which is basically the distance we covered in the last 2 weeks. So there was a lot of riding on our engine to perform right now. We had a couple hiccups before, and now we were fingers crossed that nothing would go wrong. Well, constant battle against entropy continues at sea. Things keep falling apart. Don't have quite enough time to fix whatever is already breaking, and something new happens. But we keep going. Also felt confident because it was just the core crew on board: Michael, Ryan, Sabrina, and Christian. And we had been working together as a team for the last 2 months and felt really good about doing whatever it took to get south. We had been really looking forward to stopping at this offshore pinnacle called Rocas Potosi, just outside of Zihuatanejo. They call them the elephants because from a distance it looks like a group of elephants moving along the ocean's horizon. We had been really excited to just see some better marine life, and so, didn't want to let the hurricane spoil our plans. We stopped and had a dive.
Saw a little octopus. Let's go find it.
There was an ominous sense that the hurricane was looming offshore, but we're so glad we didn't let our fear paralyze us. It was an awesome spot to see.
That whole zone, and then the Marlin, all of it, it felt a little like Twilight Zone.
Then a most amazing thing happened.
That thing is big.
We're just settling in for the evening, trolling our lines behind the boat. We snag a huge fish, then we see it jump. And we're like, oh my God, that's a marlin.
What do you think, guys? If he's like under 50 or 60 pounds, we keep him, but if he's like big, we let him go?
That thing looked really big.
Well, I think it came at a really bad time because we were trying to get out of there.
This is the biggest fish I've ever seen or caught.
Can those snap the pole?
No, they'd snap the line first.
We proceed for the next hour to fight this thing. Michael, you tired?
Yeah, really tired. It's a big fish. This might be the biggest fish I've ever caught.
It's that little
that little lure that's been catching all those little fish, and now this big guy. Oh my gosh, look at him! Oh shit! He's over 100 pounds. Look at him. GoPro it, GoPro it. I'm so tired. Catching a 300-pound fish on 30-pound tackle.
That's how we do it.
Wow.
But the amazing thing is that it didn't break our 30-pound test line. It's estimated to have been about 300 pounds. Getting it up close to the boat, obviously we're trying to just catch and release it at this point and remove the hook, but it is so big and it is difficult to manage.
I've never seen a bigger fish in my entire life, besides one stuffed on a wall in a sushi store. This is beautiful. It's like his eyes.
Whoa.
Do you have a gloved hand to do that?
Yeah.
Do you need a second gloved hand? Do you want to take this guy off? Hold on.
But like even the plan to like noose his tail to try to like steady him so we could unhook the lure, like we're so naive to think that would have worked.
The only reason this 8-foot marlin didn't break our lightweight fishing line was because the hook caught him right by the eye socket, which must have been really sensitive. The marlin was released and he left us dazed with a mix of emotions. On the one hand, we felt really sorry we might have injured him, yet we also felt graced by the close visit of such a remarkable creature.
I mean, that was the most amazing fishing experience of our entire trip, I think. Just coming that close to a 300-pound blue marlin, I mean, he was incredibly beautiful.
150 miles, or halfway to the state of Oaxaca, we stopped in Acapulco, which is the only place to refuel on this whole coast. We're debating whether to wait out the hurricane in this port.
That seemed like more of a crux decision. Like, because that was, do we hole up there or do we keep moving?
But it is so developed, and we really weren't treated very well there. They wanted insurance and wanted this and that, and I always just felt so anxious we might get stuck there.
That was really when I started to feel like the gravity of the situation wholesale. And we were scrambling for internet. It was super janky.
But we were able to fill up fuel eventually and got on our way. Our fears weren't unfounded, as 2 weeks later, Hurricane Carlos landed in Acapulco as a tropical storm. We're glad we made the call to keep moving, trusting we'd make it to Oaxaca by the next morning, which we hoped would be out of harm's way.
We got a booby on our sail. Let's go find him.
After 2 nights of motoring, we arrived in the state of Oaxaca, on the southern tip of Mexico, in the National Park of Chacahua, which is this wetland area with lots of ecologically important mangroves. There is this river mouth where we anchored next to a surf spot, and we were so excited to surf. After all that built up anxiety and pressure, we had made it. We could relax, we could surf, we could walk around the beach, explore this beautiful area.
I got totally smoked. I think I'm ready to do some restorative yoga, mazunte.
Mr. Smith is digging deep into the Yama.
Oh my god.
There's the flower.
50 pounds of flour. It's muy difícil to access.
We very skeptical about putting flour down there from Costco, but it looks like it's still dry, huh, Ryan?
Yeah, she feels still dry. Don't worry. Michael's informing me that my 50-pound bag is actually just 25 pounds. Feels like 75 pounds.
Arriving in Chacahua after overcoming our stress and anxiety, it really felt like we had earned it. But the last laugh was going to be coming from that hurricane.
Clouds have done their wrath. Now it's the time for the ocean.
That night, the clouds rolled in, the sun was setting, became crimson red, very foreboding, and we started wondering what was about to transpire. We realized that you can't get away with everything so easy.
Welcome to the first squall of the Great Coconut Run.